In His Shadow by meniekeime, Chapter 1, Hogwarts. Harry's point of view, 11 years old. I ran through the train, hoping to still get a place in the Omega's compartment. We had to stay separate from the others because we could go into heat at any moment, not having it regularly yet. And they didn't want to risk that an Alpha would attack us. The Omega's compartment was open and had no seats, so we had to sit on our trunks, and it was really silent for the whole ride because we were told that we weren't allowed to talk to each other. When the train stopped, it took a while for the doors to open so we could finally leave the train. We could already see the castle. We started to walk to the castle because the boats were reserved for alphas and betas, and the carriages were for older students. I grabbed my owl Hagrid and made my way through the woods so we could reach Hogwarts in due time. Even though we all walked quickly, we barely made it in time. We were put in the hallway together with others, waiting until the doors opened so we could be led into the sorting hat so it could do its job. I could see my brother. It seemed he'd already made friends with a redhead boy, and some girls were fawning over him. That's my brother, always popular. A woman wearing A symbol on her clothes came to us. She ordered us to build a single row and walked us into the Great Hall. There were 4 big tables: Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, and Gryffindor. I wanted to get into Ravenclaw, less trouble. Many betas got sorted into that house, so there wouldn't be as many other Omegas, and I would be able to focus on my studies and not getting an alpha mate. I don't want Hufflepuff because there were so many other Omegas prettier than me and more fertile than me that any alpha would want. Most of the time, people mated in their houses. The ratio 1 alpha to 10 Omegas in Hufflepuff put a lot of pressure on you to be perfect as an Omega. The Gryffindor and Slytherins were full of alphas that would steal each other's Omegas just for fun, and I didn't want to get kidnapped. Ronald Weasley, beta, the woman said. The redhead sat himself down on the stool, and she set the hat on his head. Another one? Gryffindor, of course, the hat screamed, making the boy grin a big smile. Applause from the table, covered in red. Draco Malfoy, alpha. The boy was cute, I thought, but he made me feel some sort of dominant aura from him. The hat hadn't even touched his head before we all heard it. Slytherin! My brother got sorted into Gryffindor, of course, and now it was my turn. Harry Potter, Omega. The room seemed shocked. Of course, who would suspect that the great Henry Potter had an Omega twin? I grabbed the stool, scared of what the hat would do to me. Calm down, Tiny. I will put you into Hufflepuff. Please no. I had to obey, so I made my way to the Hufflepuff table, sitting down silently with the other students. Now that all the people were sorted, an old man called Dumbledore had a speech to remind us of the school rules, especially the ones for Omegas. 1. Always obey. 2. Always look presentable. 3. No relationships with other Omegas. 4. The alpha on your table decides what you eat. 5. Don't leave the school without an alpha/beta. 6. No broom riding or other dangerous activities. Well, those are the basic ones. I waited until the prefix came to give me an Omega symbol and told me that the alpha next to me would tell me what to eat. So days later, I got a letter from my parents telling me that they were disappointed that I got into Hufflepuff. But I could make up for my mistake if I became the Quidditch Cuddy for an alpha called Cedric Diggory, who was on search for a new one. We Omegas weren't allowed to play Quidditch. Too dangerous, but we could become a Cuddy, meaning we could wait on the pitch during the game, providing them with water, and would help them refresh after games, massaging the muscles, cleaning the changing rooms after them, etc. Often, a Cuddy would end up the alpha's mate, so I knew why my parents wanted me to try out. The test wasn't hard. One with the best smell won, and it turned out that it was me. In my second year at Hogwarts, I met another Omega boy. His name was Neville Longbottom, also in Hufflepuff. We met in the Omega's boys' bathroom, refreshing up our makeup. The rule to look decent also implied no imperfections on the face, something that was only achievable when you used makeup. Turns out we had a lot in common. We were both small omegas and didn't know much about the world, so we decided to become friends and spend a lot of time together. My brother had made more friends in Gryffindor, and he was the seeker for the Gryffindor team now. Speaking of Quidditch, it was really nice being Cedric's Cuddy. He was really nice, not so rough like others. He was a little older than me, already 15, but that won't be a problem. Back to Neville. He was really shy and told me that most of the alphas scared him. We discovered that cuddling together was really nice, but we needed to be careful when we did it because it was frowned upon. Too much skin-to-skin contact, they say. We became inseparable, one of the reasons being a monster in the school that was turning people to stone. I was so happy when I found out that my brother had killed it. He was always there to save us. In my 3rd year, a rumored Death Eater, Sirius Black, broke out from Azkaban and was out to kill my brother. But we were all in danger at the school, so new rules were enforced. No Omega was allowed to go around alone, and Cedric was so nice bringing Neville and me from class to class and keeping us company. We were also not allowed to go out when it turned dark, making it hard to participate in classes in the afternoon, because during winter it became dark around 4. And again, my brother was there to save us all. Henry, together with our parents, friends, and teacher Remus Lupin, he was able to prove Sirius innocent, and that he had not told Voldemort where we lived 12 years ago, but a man called Peter Pettigrew. In my 4th year, Hogwarts was hosting the Triwizard Tournament, and we Omegas had a lot to do. We were to help the guests out where we could, showing them around and bringing them to classes. Both my brother and Cedric were picked for the tournament. And I was so confused. Should I hope my brother should win or Cedric? But the question was soon answered. Cedric didn't pick me to be his mate, but an Omega from Ravenclaw called Cho Chang. I was so disappointed in myself. I must have been so bad at being an Omega that he didn't want me. And from that moment on, everything went down the drain. Henry got really cold with me, and I felt like he hated me. And Mother and Father told me that I wasn't to come home for Christmas. I was given strange looks everywhere. I just felt really bad. Cedric's death didn't make it any better, or that my parents became even stricter with me. But there was Neville, at least. Why had this all happened to me? End of chapter 1.